Hi, it's Nancy here and welcome to my craft room. Today I am going to use the March Hero Arts card kit to make a couple of quick cards. So I stamped out some of the images, and this is what the stamp look like that come with the kit, and then you also get a lot of die cuts that come with the kit as well. There's a really pretty piece of gray ribbon that ties up the kit that I'm going to be using on a card. And then there are a number of pieces of cardstock. There's black and white and the sand color. There's a jar of gray embossing powder that's really pretty. And then there is a little packet of sequins that are white and gray tones, really pretty. And then there's this little ink cube that's white from Hero Arts. So let's jump right into the first card here. It was to use an embossing card that had diamond shapes on it. I thought I had one, but I didn't. So I had to use the one that I had. And it's kind of circular. It's hard to see on the camera. Here's a picture of the card, embossing card. And I've just put some purple toned paper in there. And after I embossed it, I took this glitter pin and then just filled in the circular shapes on the piece of paper just to give it some added dimension. And it's really pretty and shiny. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here on the camera or not. I'm going to glue that down onto a piece of black cardstock. And once you emboss that paper, this piece of paper was pretty fine and it kind of cut through it. So you have to be careful or you might actually lose a little piece of your paper, which I did to some extent, and then I glued it back down. So I'm going to glue this panel down on the bottom 3/4 of the piece of black cardstock and just leaving a little bit of the edges showing. Then I'm going to work with this lavender panel, and I've chosen the sentiment that says make a wish. And I've got some purple embossing powder that I had in my stash, and I thought that would be pretty to work on with the sentiment. I'm going to stamp that down with some Versamark ink, and then put the purple embossing powder on it, and then heat set it with my heat gun. And then I'm going to adhere that piece of purple panel onto the top part of my card. So I thought the card itself was a little plain, and I took the flower stamp that comes in the kit and heat embossed that with the purple as well. Then I found some light lavender ribbon that coordinates with the colors of my paper, and I'm going to wrap that around the card there where the pieces of paper um, meet and tie a bow. And I stumble around here for a few minutes and finally get the bow tied. Bear with me. So I trimmed the ribbon down, and this is what the card looks like when it's finished. It's a simple card, but I really like the way it turned out. I decided I better put a little glue dot underneath the ribbon there so that it doesn't move around through mailing or when the recipient opens up the card. So I stick that down, and now we're going to move on to the second card. So I'm still thinking about diamonds, and I wanted to use the die cut that was diamond shaped. And I had a little piece of paper that was on craft that I had stamped a flower down on and had used some colored pencils that were kind of purple and white. And so I took that, and it's on craft, and I took that image and used the little diamond die cut and cut out these little diamonds, and I'm going to use that to be the focal point of this card that I'm going to create. So I'm going to lay the diamonds down on a piece of that light lavender cardstock left over from the first card, and I'm just going to space those out on the card. And I'm going to trim that lavender down and put it on a piece of the craft colored cardstock that came in the kit. So I'm going to cut that down to slightly bigger than the lavender panel. I'm just trying to add some interest by doing these layers. So now I have to use one of the die cuts, and I'm going to use the Hello, and I've stamped it out on two pieces of white and then a piece of that lavender cardstock. And I'm using a can of spray adhesive to adhere it down, and it was much simpler to do that. Then I also decided I need a little interest on the bottom of the card, so I took the stamp and the arrow and stamped along the bottom side. And now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out the card. The panel that I used, I had stamped some words on the front of it, and I'm just reusing that panel, so that's why you see the words on that. And I'm going to lay that down onto a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm going to layer my diamond panel in the 3/4 of the section of that card, and then I'm going to put the hello down and add some bells and whistles to the card. I did use some foam adhesive on the diamond panel piece to raise that up, again, just to create some interest on the card. So I'm gluing down the Hello die cut onto the front of the card, and I'm just using that favorite adhesive of mine, that Nouveau Deluxe adhesive. Great stuff. I recommend getting some. So I had some sequins that from a previous kit that matched this card in shades of lavender, and I've laid them down on the front of the card where I think I want to place them, and I'm going to adhere them down with that glue again, and just play with getting those into place, and then that finishes that card off. Both of these cards were pretty simple, quick and easy to make, and I wanted to get this video posted. I'm going to try to work on a few more cards using this kit, but I like seeing inspiration, and I wanted to get this up onto YouTube so that you could see it as well. If you enjoyed watching this, please give me a thumbs up and show me what you're making with the kit as well. Thanks for visiting me, and I will see you soon. Here's a last look at the two cards that I made. Thank you. Go create something today.